Christos voskras, voistino voskras. Christ is risen, indeed he is risen. This is Father Basil doing another podcast. Hopefully everyone is doing well wherever you're listening from today. I was on vacation this past week, so that's why I didn't do any podcasts. I spent some very nice time with my son Samuel, and we visited a lot of family and relatives everywhere. And it was a really good week that I had. And now it's the week after Easter. It's coming to be Thomas Sunday in the Eastern tradition called Thomas Sunday. And in the Roman Catholic tradition, it's Divine Mercy Sunday, the Sunday after Easter. And, during this past week, with a lot of travels I had with my son, a lot of fun activities we did, and visiting family and friends. And, but it's still the Pascha. It's still that week of rejoicing in the Lord's resurrection. It's still that week of making sure that we remember what the Lord did for us during that time. And this Sunday, when we talk about Thomas Sunday, and, we all know that story of Thomas, who the apostle who was missing from the room, the day after the resurrection, everyone was gathered in the room. And Jesus appeared to them except for Thomas. Thomas wasn't there, and he didn't believe that the Lord was still alive. He did not believe that the Lord was still with us. And, the week after Jesus appeared to the apostles, he appeared again to Thomas. And, said to Thomas, don't persist in your unbelief. Feel the nail holes in my hands, feel my side, the piercing in my side. I am alive. And, Thomas said, oh, my Lord and my God. He was this in shock and disbelief that the Lord was alive again. But we shouldn't be in shock. We shouldn't be surprised that the Lord is with us all the time. That the Lord is always going to be present in our lives every single day. And that when we need the Lord, when we need Jesus in our lives, He's not going to disappoint us. Jesus is not going to be strangers to us because He loves us so much. Jesus is full of love. And unfortunately, we have a lot of doubt in this world today. We don't believe anyone. It's hard to trust people because of all the scandals that are going on in this world, corruption, sinfulness. So many people are evil, do evil things. And, in my travels with, different family members, there's a lot of discussions about this, about, what's happening in this world today, how this world is becoming, not so holy anymore, right? That this world is there's a lot of things happening in this world that it's hard to trust other people, hard to trust those around us. But just like the Lord said to Thomas, don't persist in your unbelief. Don't persist in your distrust. We have to have that same attitude. We can't persist in our unbelief, in our distrust of Jesus. We have to know that Jesus, the risen Lord, is going to be is who he said he was going to be. He's going to raise us all up from the dead. He's going to raise us into the kingdom of heaven if we allow Jesus in our lives. And if we serve Jesus and do the things he asks us to do in our life. And that's the biggest thing I think that's happening in this world. There's so much distrust between people. People don't trust each other anymore. And it's sad. It's really sad to me about this distrust. It's really sad that people don't want to, they don't want to rely on other people and to know that we're all serving God. If the world was at the point where we all did the things to serve God, to know that the other person in our lives, the people around us, are all going to be doing the right things, wouldn't that make the world so much better? If we trusted that that person in our family member was going to make the right decision, that they are going to avoid evil and do what is good. If we knew that the people around us were all gonna be, sincere in their dealings, then the world would be so much easier to live in, right? But because there's so much corruption, there's so much evil, there's so much, this wrongdoings, sinfulness, we can't trust others. So I think we need to pray that we need to pray for togetherness again, that we all do things to serve God, that everyone does what they do in this life, not for selfish purposes, not to get gain from other people, but to serve God. This is what we need to pray for constantly, and this is what I'm going to be praying for personally myself in my own life, to serve God. That we serve God better in our lives, so that people can trust us, we can trust others, and that we do the will of God in our life. So pray constantly. Hope everyone again had a beautiful Easter celebration, and I'll be doing these podcasts as much as possible again in the future. Thank you. God bless. Christos voskras, Risna voskras. Christ is risen, indeed he is risen.